Our Father, our God, thank you for your many blessings and ask you for your guidance, especially in this unique situation. Please help us to do what is right in your sight to remember our felony at all times. Thank you to everyone who is here and everyone who is online who's concerned about our community, and may we move forward under your guidance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Cheryl. Let's also stay with the pledge, please. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, let's. I'll quickly introduce the board and then the members that are here. That are here introduce themselves, so the speaker knows who she's talking to. My name is Philippe Cross. I've been involved with CRTF from the beginning. I was a hotel owner operator, and when Rita and Katrina hit, and I was relatively new to America, and I couldn't believe I was in America. So the wonderful thing about America is that we got together, and this is the first multiplier. So thank you for accepting to speak. Leroy, if you would introduce.
I'm Leroy Harrison. I'm the treasurer for the CRTF. I've been with CRTF a little bit about the same time as Philippe. I've been in emergency management for at least 30 years, somewhere or another, because I used to work at a hospital. But I'm retired now, so I'm focusing a lot more on CRTF now.
Yeah, I'm Cheryl Lyle. I'm a certified emergency manager, also retired, but I do consulting for the School Safety Center. And I have enjoyed working with the Community Response Task Force for at least about 6 years.
Ben Cheney, board member. I'm with CERT and also with my own company, Photography, and I've been with them for about 6 years too.
Thank you. Wonderful board. We have 2 people that couldn't make it today, so we're 6 people on the board. We work very hard. Please visit our website and all that. It's impressive for a community response organization. If I could please have you all introduce yourself really quickly.
I'm Darlene Ward. I'm with Officers of Control.
Bill Nemo, Officers of Control, the field instructor, also emergency drug drivers.
And Dave Garland was Citizens on Patrol.
Mary Malloy, I'm also with Citizens Patrol, but I'm also the CERT facilitator from.
Well, thank you all for being here. There's a whole lot more invisible people here right now, so which is weird and new, the weird times we live in. Lindsay, to introduce you, I have to kind of be here, so I don't get anything. But it is truly an honor, was given this sheet, and it's long. But so it's an honor to introduce Commander Erica Journet. Erica currently holds the position of commander with the ISD Police Department, which is where her law enforcement career began in 2005. Promptly after completing her police training at the University of Houston downtown in 2004, since joining, she has had many opportunities to rise through the ranks, which have allowed her to grow both professionally and personally. Shortly after joining the ISD Police Department, she became one of the district's law enforcement teaching students program. Wonderful. Instructor. This program allowed her to teach over 10,000 students the importance of character building, drug and violence prevention, and how to overcome peer pressure. In 2008, she was promoted to corporal, where she became responsible for supervising the communication, and the community service division. 2 years later, in 2010, she was promoted to the rank of sergeant, where she became responsible of overseeing communication, truancy, community service, and records division. In 2017, she was promoted to the rank of lieutenant, and 2 years later was promoted to the rank of commander. As a commander, her responsibilities expanded to include the supervision over communication, truancy, investigations, records, and training division. Commander Tournay earned her bachelor's degree of science and criminal justice from Liberty University. She is a graduate of the FBI Command College and the FBI LEDA, okay. Trilogy Award recipient. Her certifications and licenses include a Master Peace Officer certification, Field Training Officer, Special Investigation, Mental Health Officer, Police Instructor, LETS Instructor, and holds her intermediate telecommunication license. She also serves as the Departmental Agency Coordinator.
If I knew you had to read that, I would have shortened it, I promise.
Well, thank you. Yeah, something like that.
I'm sorry.
It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you everyone for being here. It is an honor and a pleasure. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that Chief wanted to send his apologies that he wasn't able to make it here today. He had to go out of town unexpectedly, so he didn't want to cancel, so he sent me. Congratulations. Before we get started, thank you. I appreciate that. Before we get started, I just wanted to kind of introduce myself, just tell you something real briefly about me that was not on the list. I am a commander for ISD Police Department. I'm a 16-year veteran. Not only do I work for the district, but also my family lives here. We've been living here for 12 years. We live here, we play here. My kids go to the ISD school district. I'm very passionate about my job and what I do in the community because this is home for me. So I'm so honored to be amongst you guys. I'm so glad about the work that y'all are doing and that we can partner together. So that is really, really awesome. Before I continue any further, I'm going to let my partner here introduce himself.
Hey everybody, I'm Sergeant Gregory Lettian. I am over the operations division. Currently supervise around 40 police officers, 8 security officers, and 4 corporals. We handle all the day-to-day operations at the school level with patrol operations, campus officers, and our security officers who are our eyes and ears on the campus. A little bit about me, I've been a police officer with ISD for 10 years now. Before that, I was in a jail setting at the Houston Police Department for 10 years, and I did 6 years active duty military. I have 3 beautiful little girls who go to Groves Elementary in the district, so I too cherish working here and being able to be a part of the community that I live in and make a difference. So that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome, thank you. I guess we can sit. All right. So before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about ISD Police Department, the history of the department. With my 16-year tenure there, you can just imagine the growth and the change that I've seen thus far. Our department was established back in 1994. Basically, we were a security officer department, and then we moved to a TICO licensed police officers for the state of Texas. That was in 1994. At this time, our department consists of about 50 sworn personnel, peace officers, about 5 security officers, and about 7 dispatchers, along with several civilians that work for our department. Our department is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days. We are always out there. We are always working. It is very important and paramount that we have someone on patrol, making sure that our schools are safe, our students are safe, and our community is safe. It is our main goal to make sure that our students are safe. It is literally our very essence of our existence is to make sure our students, staff, and community is safe. Our district covers about 90 plus square mileage. We have a student population on OISD does of about 45,000 students that attend Humble ISD. We have about 6,500 employees and staff that works for Humble ISD. So it's a pretty good, large district that we have the honor to be a part of. Our department is required to respond to all emergency calls, all alarm calls. We do that throughout the day and nighttime. We have night shift patrol, evening shift patrol, as well as day shift patrol. We also are responsible for any calls for services. We respond to those calls in our district, as well as helping other agencies and assisting them with any help or calls that they may need as well. Within our police department, our department is broken down into two different divisions. We have the operations division, and we also have the administration division. I am actually the commander over our administration division. And with that being said, these are the things we kind of handle. We do have a community service division that we handle. Our community service is responsible for going out into the community and our partners and partnering with each other, making sure that the students feel safe, letting them know that police officers are their friend. They don't have to be afraid to come to us, to talk to us. If anything is going on, police officers are their friend. We also have our communication division that runs 24/7. Our records and truancy division, we want to make sure that the kids are safe, but also that they're receiving an education. They're going to school, so we actually have a division for that as well. Our investigation division, as well as our gang division, our gang unit. We also have our safe and secure schools that's out there training the different schools and teachers and staff to make sure that they're safe in case an emergency arise, as well as the students, they know what to do. If there's a fire in their school, they know what to do. Our safe and secure department makes sure that the alarm systems are tested once a month to make sure that everything is working properly into the school. I'm sure there is a whole lot more that the safe and secure side does. I would be here all day if I tried to tell you everything that they do. And then we have a training division for our officers as well to make sure that they're receiving the proper training. I want to also segue into what we have done, Humble ISD have done in order to keep our kids safe and secure while they're on campus. Regardless of what we're dealing with, our community is dealing with, regardless of what the society is dealing with, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a tornado, or the pandemic that we're in right now, we are committed to this community, to this district, to always be on the front line. We're always out there working. Beautiful music. We are always out there working, putting our lives on the line in order to make sure that the district is safe. It's okay. You want me to keep going? Or? Okay, I'm okay with it. In order to make sure that our district is safe, we are on the front line. We are working every day, all day. We have different shifts that's making sure that they're patrolling the schools out there in our community, making relationships, patrolling, making sure that there's not easy access into our buildings. It is paramount for us to be available for our students and staff and as well as our district. We want to make sure that we are responding very quickly and effectively to keep our students safe. This year, we basically experienced something that we've never experienced before, which is the pandemic. This has hit everyone hard. And with that being said, even our department had to come together and we had to modify some things. We had to put some policies and some procedures out there in order to make sure that our officers are safe, that our students are safe, that our staff is safe. So immediately once this happened, the first thing that we've done, because we do believe that you have to be whole, body, mind, and in spirit. So in the beginning, we started off and we had our officers, we began to move shifts around. So we modified each officer's shift. We made sure that they had time to get their family situated, as well as make sure that they kept themselves safe. So we end up giving them a training on how to deal with the public in these trying times. We're living in some unprecedented times where everything are changing, but the main thing is we want to make sure that they stay safe as well. So they had training, they had classes on how to deal with the public. And then in order to follow CDC guidelines, making sure they wore masks in common places and different things like that. As we begin to return back to school and to campuses. It is very important that how our officers is going to be out there interacting with the public and the students on campus. So the first thing that we have put into place is before an officer comes to work, they have to do a self-evaluation. Within this evaluation, when they get up in the morning, they have to say, do I feel okay? Am I sick? Am I feeling something that is not normal to me? Because if so, immediately they know they need to call their supervisor. You do not report to work because we want to make sure they're not getting anyone else sick. When they come into our police department, immediately we are taking temperatures. We have signage up of social distancing because we want to make sure we're following the CDC guidelines. We take their temperatures. It is documented before we even start roll call. Once we start roll call, we give them the information and then they go out to their campuses. It is very important that their mask is worn at all times in common areas while they're on the campus. They are doing social distancing while they're interacting with the campuses and the students. We also make sure that they are staying very visible out in the public. They're also walking the campuses, making sure that the doors are secured. If there's anything propped open or have that door propped open, a lot of times on our campuses, the kids like to put chairs or something there. The officer's job is to make sure those doors are secured. Anybody, any public that needs to come into the school, they will access it through the front door of that building in order for it to be monitored and for them to sign in. Once they sign in and they have a badge, a sticker that says visitor, we know, the officers are able to know that they have checked in properly, and if they do not display that, then they are sent to the front office with the police escort. We want to make sure that it limits trespassers on campus, so we make sure that the students also are displaying their student ID. That need to be worn by the students at all times. It is very hard to kind of identify who they are with the mask that is required to wear. So they have to make sure they're either having their school ID displayed, or if they are a visitor of our campus, they have a visitor sign. If that is not displayed with our officers being out there and they're looking and they're checking and they're being very visible and paying close attention to detail, they're able to catch that right away. So these are some of the things that we definitely have put in place since the pandemic of how we're going to keep our students, staff, and district safe. We also have a system that an anonymous system, basically, that the students are able to use called iHope. This system has been part of Humble ISD for about 3 years now. And what happens is, this is a system that the students can get on, whether it's from their computer, they can get on it from a laptop, a tablet, and they can even download the app on their cell phones. And what it does is they're able to report any criminal activity that is either in progress, possibly going to happen, or any type of dangerous situations. We, at Humble ISD, we wanted to tell the kids, we tell them, hey, you see something, say something, don't be afraid. And a lot of times kids want to, but they don't want to be identified. So this system helps them to speak up and say something without them being identified. What happens with that, once they send it through the system, it is monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by our dispatch center, our communication center. It will give the dispatchers an alert when something pops up, and they're able to communicate with the tipster, okay? They are qualified and trained on how to give certain information or to get certain information from that tipster. Once we see that there may be a potential danger, an officer is either dispatched out to that campus or that campus officer is notified, or it can be dispatched out to the home, depending on what it is and what time of the day. If a student is feeling down and they're feeling suicidal, we also contact that parents, because sometimes the parents don't know. And we let them know that we had a tip that come through. Immediately they go and check, we send an officer out there, and then we also make sure that we communicate with the school, the principal, and the counselor as well. So if that kid when they go back to school, they're able to pull them back in and communicate with them. So we have all these different things set up as of right now. I can go on and on about everything else that we have put in place in order to ensure a safe return for our district and our students and our community and our staff. At this time, I'll let Lydia know anything I have not covered.
There's not much left to say after that. The biggest thing we have going forward, which we still have the unknown on, is going to be athletic events, that kind of stuff that we provide security for. We are waiting on updates from UIL and that kind of stuff. So a lot of changes going still. We don't have clarification yet, so we're ever changing. But other than that, I think you really said it all.
Well, that's good. And literally, I could go on and on. I'm very honored to work for this department and the district. I think we have some awesome leadership that is guiding. And we are living in a very unprecedented time, so things are always changing. There are always new rules and guidelines that is coming up that we have to modify to make sure that we are keeping everyone safe, as well as following the CDC guidelines in the process. So at this time, I will open it up for questions. Maybe I didn't touch on something that you may want to know about. So it is open. Yes, I mean, I did a great job.
Yes. Well, we're all COVID obsessed, and really a lot of questions and a lot of stress within the community, and especially for parents.
Right.
How can we get the word out to put our piece with that a little bit? Kids are returning to school. Are they safe? What specifically do you tell parents? What can we as with our group, need to know how we can help you?
Right.
I don't know, I'm not a school parent anymore, but I feel the stress, see the stress.
Right.
So how can we communicate peace or yes, it's fine?
Right. And I talk from both aspects of the spectrum, I would say, because I am a parent in the school district of Elm Grove too. And I'm also in law enforcement, I'm the officer. And so in this time, I think we are all concerned and nerved about different things that may come up. But what I would say to parents and what I would say to the community is this is what we live and breathe. We don't stop. This is why we exist as a police department, is to make sure that you are safe. Yes, it's forever changing, but we are meeting. We are meeting with some very smart people. We are taking the advice of what CDC put out there, and we are equipping it to make it fit our district and the needs of our district and the community. We understand when we put on the badge and we swore the oath that sometimes we would have to be in dangerous situations, and we don't shy away from that. And we're willing to get out there and do what we have to do, whether it's an active shooter, a pandemic, a hurricane. We don't stop. We do understand that, yes, we are in a pandemic, but we also in hurricane season, right? So we always are preparing. We're always meeting about that because we don't want to go, uh-oh, what do we do now? So we plan. And so, and we make it memory, out of our memory. And even though you may be kind of scared and fearful, that memory retention will kick in, and we do our job. And we try to make sure we do it to the best of our ability. We train our officers in order to do it to the best of their ability, and in order to make sure that the students and staff are safe. And so with that, I do hope it brings peace in the sense of that we are out there and we know what we signed up for. And because of that, we're willing to do our job. Even if we have to apprehend someone, we know you're supposed to keep 6 feet apart, but we signed up for that. And we will do that.
I'm just curious, do you have dollars? Do you have any dollars?
Yeah, I do. I just got a puppy.
Really?
I did.
What's with the element?
Oh, I thought you were talking about my personal.
We contract out through Conroe ISD.
Okay.
So every every time we use their dogs, we use them multiple times a year throughout the year. They have 2 drug dogs that we bring over, very experienced supervisors, and they work very well with us. We've been using them for years.
I know, me too. I'm sorry, I took that to a personal. But yes, we do have dogs that come out to our schools. They come out to our high school and our middle schools. Any other questions or comments?
Comments. I mean, in closing, I like the word memory because it's a learning experience, isn't it? Our mission as, the Community Response Task Force is to bring the community to an at-ready stage for whatever it is. And do we have the answers for everything? No, we don't. But we have people like you that we can rely on. And we too, it's memory. We're learning as we go along. And so CRTF offers, that platform for our partners to meet, to communicate, to be in meetings, even virtual these days, to learn, to get the memory. And so I loved it. Awesome. I loved it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a token of our appreciation. We have a little something, and it's a little something by, it's a gift certificate from a restaurant in the community. We love supporting the community that supports us. This particular restaurant, Lost Cajun,
Thank you.
when Harvey hit,
Yeah.
they got to work. So that's the kind of community we live in, and we like to recognize it as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this will be posted on our website too.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
appreciate it.
A lot of work. These have been weird times. We kind of shut down.
Nice meeting you.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
First, we shut down. What is this? So, it took us a little bit to catch our breath, but we've done a lot of work. So, we took that time to rebuild websites, brochures, which our business cards, etc. The members that don't have the right to check that, when we speak to the community, we offer our services to the community at large, presentations, property owners associations, you name it. If we can help create awareness that we exist as a platform where a problem can be brought and a solution can be found quicker, in a more organized, efficient way, that's what we do. We bring the community to an at-ready stage. How? Through our partners. By bringing us the problem, you are so much closer to the solution through that network that didn't exist pre-CRTF. It's the way every community should have one, I think. It's the way emergency management should be done. Because so much gets lost, so much talent, so many resources, if there's not that network, that communication. So anyway, thank you. Thanks for being here.